Joining us now is Democratic Senator Chris Coons, a member of the Foreign Relations Committee. Senator, thank you. You were with the president at the National Prayer Breakfast today. I know you've been part of these briefings, member of the Foreign Relations Committee. Let's talk about ISIS and how important you think getting al-Qurayshi was to decapitating this terror organization.
Andrea, I am so grateful for the bravery and the determination, the skill, and ultimately the success of our armed forces and our special forces in particular in taking out this leader of ISIS. He was actively directing ISIS units in several countries around the world, targeting Americans, targeting civilians. Part of his background is that he was one of the leaders of ISIS's brutal genocide against the Yazidi, a religious minority in Iraq back in 2014, and decapitating ISIS by leading to his killing himself with a suicide vest during a special forces raid is an important step forward in combating terrorism and securing some measure of peace. There are, as your reporting just referenced, ISIS cells in countries around the world, in Southwest Asia, in Africa, who continue to carry out deadly attacks. And I think it was important that this strike was successful. While we regret the loss of civilian lives, the initial reporting and the briefing we received was that that was most likely as a result of his use of a suicide vest. And I am grateful that all the American troops involved returned safely to their base.
Now, let me ask you, of course, about Russia, Vladimir Putin. According to the briefings you've had and your own knowledge of this, is there any sign at all that the buildup of forces, now the deployment of 3,000 American troops unilaterally to the region in Eastern Europe, that is having any impact on what's happening on the border? Any sign that Putin might be reconsidering, blinking, de-escalating?
Well, Andrea, I've just left a briefing from the Director of National Intelligence, the Secretary of Defense, Secretary of State, and I can't share with you any of the classified information that was conveyed to the members of the Senate, but I will say this. Putin continues a massive buildup of ground, air, sea, cyber forces all along Ukraine's border, in the Black Sea, to the northeast, to the north, to the northwest, in the country of Belarus, tens of thousands of troops at almost every point along Ukraine's border, such that he could launch a massive ground invasion of Ukraine, the largest military action in Europe since the Second World War, at almost any moment. I support President Biden's decision to deploy 3,000 American troops to bolster the defenses of our NATO allies, Romania and Poland, and to strengthen our capabilities in Germany. Putin's core objective was to weaken and divide NATO. And in fact, what he's doing is strengthening and unifying NATO. President Biden has been effectively engaged in the last year in pulling together our most important military, economic, strategic alliance. And these efforts to strengthen that alliance, I think, are critical means of deterring Russian aggression.
And when the Russians say that the president's troop deployment is a destructive step, complicating the situation, what's your reaction to that?
My reaction is that Secretary Blinken, President Biden continue to pursue diplomacy. They've put on the table some proposals that would legitimately meet some concerns that the Russians have brought forward about transparency, about military exercises, about missile forces. If Putin is genuinely seeking to de-escalate this situation, he has an off-ramp, and diplomacy can provide him with that off-ramp. But the level of military deployments by the Russians are unprecedented since the Second World War. They have now got a dagger poised at the very throat of Ukraine, and I am gravely concerned that in the absence of effective deterrence, which will be strengthened by our taking up and passing a sanctions package here in the United States Senate, in the absence of an effective deterrent by the United States and the West, Ukrainian sovereignty may be a thing of the past in just a few short weeks. So I think the escalation here is all on Putin's side.
Thank you very much, Senator. Thanks for being with us today on a very busy day. And I want